Hi everybody, welcome back to Helping Make Sense. In the past few videos, I've talked a lot about abstract ideas like behaviors and marketing techniques. I wanted to switch gears a little bit today and get into some numbers and a little more of a mathematical element of personal finance that may apply to some of you, which is employee stock purchase plans. If you work for a company that is publicly traded, this may be an option to you. And it is one that I think is definitely worth at least considering. And I want to make sure you understand the basics as to how it works so that you can be informed in deciding to put a portion of your paycheck invested back into your company's stock, as well as understand some of the consequences, both positive and potentially negative, when doing so. So what is an employee stock purchase plan? Basically what it is it is a benefit offered by your employer if your employer is publicly traded, and you can put money aside from your paycheck into what is basically a savings account that then buys stock on a 6-month interval. So insofar as you take payroll deductions for things like medical insurance, dental insurance, hopefully a 401k or a 403b contribution, if an employee stock purchase plan is an option for you, this would be under that same category as far as a payroll deduction that goes towards this benefit that I'll break down here a little bit more. So when you choose the percentage or the amount that you want to put into your employee stock plan, and again, you can think of it as basically buying into your company. If you believe in its management, its growth, the product, you're confident that it drives value for the consumers or the clients that you support, this is a great way to kind of invest in yourself by way of investing into the company. So let's say you put 5% into your employee stock purchase plan. Basically, you're putting that into a forced savings account that every 6 months, your employer will purchase shares of your company stock at a discount. Most employee stock purchase plan discounts are 15%. That's what I'm going to use for this example, though that doesn't mean that every employee stock purchase program is the 15% discount. So when you contribute 5% into this savings account, every 6 months, your employer purchases stock for you at a 15% discount. Now, this might seem pretty obvious, but where it can be beneficial is that you don't have to open up another brokerage account. You don't have to worry about administration fees or transaction fees. Everything under an ESPP is handled by your employer. So let's take a look at a quick example here. If your company stock is trading at $100 on the day of the purchase, that means all of those dollars that you set aside in your paycheck go towards purchasing your company stock at that moment. However, rather than you paying $100 like someone in the general public would, you get that 15% discount. So you're paying $85 per share. So you basically automatically get a 15% discount. So the value of your dollars go a little farther because of that discount. You don't have to use $100 to buy one share. It only takes you 85 in this example. Some ESPPs will also have what's called a look back feature, where things can get pretty powerful and intense pretty quickly. So let's jump back into that same example, but we're going to look back, hence the name of the feature, 6 months ago to see the price of the stock. In this example, 6 months ago, the stock was valued at $80, and today it's valued at $100. With the look back feature, you get the discount on the lower of the two prices. So even though it's trading at $100 today, you're going to get 15% off of $80 thanks to this feature. So when you think about how powerful this is, again, the stock is trading at $100 today to the public at large. Not only do you get the look back feature, which is the lower of the two prices, so you're already getting a $20 discount just based on what the price was 6 months ago, you're also getting another 15% off of the $80 due to your employee stock benefit. So what is $100 today, you're getting at $68 per share. Pretty powerful. And of course, if you continue to buy into your company stock, this cycle will hopefully continue for you. Remember too, if the stock was higher 6 months ago but is lower today, you'll get the 15% discount at today's price because it's the lower of the two prices today versus 6 months ago. A couple risks to be aware of that I do want to make you all conscious of. As with any single stock, the price can drop. It can go up, of course, but it can drop. So I would encourage you all to not concentrate a significant amount of your long-term, specifically retirement investments into an employee stock purchase plan, just in case things do go badly for your company. Another thing to think about, as with any security or stock, is that if you sell it, or when you sell it, you will be subject to taxes on those gains, which again, I would say should not be a deterrent for investing in your company, especially if you believe in it long term. It's just something that you'd want to plan for, particularly with a tax professional, so that you're not cashing in a significant amount of money and not realizing that you have to pay taxes on those gains. But again, a quick meeting with a tax professional or even a CPA can help you to kind of plan how and when to sell the stock that you have invested in over the course of your employment. So again, if you're a believer in your company, you think it's going to do well, you believe in the mission, definitely recommend at least putting maybe a small percentage of your paychecks into an employee stock purchase plan, if for no other reason because you're getting a discount. Another strategy that people will implement, which kind of makes it quick, easy, cut and dry, is buying and selling on the same day. So when you think back to the example where the stock was valued at $100, but with the look back feature and the discount, you as the employer getting it at $68, some employees will choose to just take their gains in that moment and buy and sell. So they automatically get the $32 gain, no questions asked. Now, that is, of course, subject to taxes, so keep that in mind. But that is one way you can quickly guarantee at least a small profit. In contrast to that strategy, you could also buy and hold, where every 6 months, again, you're buying into the lower of the two prices at the discount and sustaining your investment for years, perhaps even decades, again, depending on how you feel about the company, depending on how it's going, maybe your future as an employee at that company, or maybe you fall somewhere in the middle where you say, all right, I want to hold at least a portion of this for the long haul, but I also want to take some chips off the table now and cash in. Again, definitely meet with a tax professional to discuss your specific situation as it relates to taking the gains or making a sale on your employee stock. The very fact that you're getting the discount that you are makes this financial option pretty appealing, I would say, for most people. So just to recap, again, an employee stock purchase plan, you're taking a portion of your paycheck and putting it into a savings account where every 6 months, those dollars are used to buy stock for the company that you work for. Typically, you get it at a discount, which is what is so enticing about this option. And then it's up to you in your unique situation as to when you want to sell, how long you want to hold, if that's your choice to do so, or a combination of the two. If you don't work for a company that's publicly traded, this probably is not something that's available to you. If you've watched this far and that's the case, thanks for tuning in. But if this is something that applies to you, please let me know in the comments anything that was unclear. I want to make sure that you all are not just putting money blindly into some type of investment or payroll deduction that you're not totally sure what it is. But as always, I'm happy to clarify anything that was confusing. And if you've made it this far, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.